All those in favor of passing the budget, please raise your hand. Stacy? Yay, okay. Perfect. The slate of officers is the same as what we voted on when we met in February. Oh, Stacy, you have a question? Please unmute and please ask.
I just, for the record, because it wasn't recorded, if you could just say that there was a motion for that and that it was seconded, just so that it's on the recording if anybody needs it.
I'll probably just write down the minutes when we're done with this and send it out to the,
Fine.
but there was a motion. Who made the motion that we had, yeah, Katya seconded made the motion, it was seconded, and we voted on passing the budget for 2023. All right, the slate of officers was put up, we voted all on that already. If you'd like to know where we're at with that, it's Lerna and I for another year. Shane Dolcon is vice president. Katya Gore is our secretary. Katya will do the minutes and send it out to everybody. I'm acting as the treasurer, but there's really not a lot to do with that. Hopefully we'll find one. Simcha is our at-large and Stacy is at-large. Sandra and Dee are immediate past president. So we really just need to vote again on the slate of officers. Is there someone who can? Simcha, can you want to?
What do I move that we accept the slate of officers as dutifully and efficiently and thoughtfully presented by Lisa.
I second the motion.
Thank you. All those in favor of accepting the slate of officers for this coming year? Thanks, Tavona. We see you. That's passed unanimously. Old business. It was the only thing in old business that I know of is that we passed our new bylaws. They were accepted by the OHALAH board. They're working on their bylaws now. I guess they got inspired by us because they hadn't updated their bylaws in ages. And I think when they saw our bylaws, they liked them. So they decided to update their bylaws. So that's the only old business that I know of. Does anybody have any other old business that they'd like to talk about? Nada? Okay, new business. Anybody have any new? I have one item. Does anyone have any new business? The only new business that's on the agenda is the OHALAH, which is coming up in person in Westchester, Pennsylvania, which is a wonderful venue. It's happening. Simcha is going to be on the faculty. There's I think Sandra is on the faculty. I'm going to be on staff. I'm again doing evening programming. It's going to be in person and hopefully it'll be fine. I haven't been traveling at all, which is why I'm not at OHALAH. I don't know if it's, oh, what a cutie. Who's that cutie? Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's her new kitty.
It's so
Yay.
cute. Oh. Simcha, do you have something to add?
No, I don't have anything to add. I'm just wondering if there's, I just want to name the elephant in the room, that there's some question about whether the rabbinic pastor program was going to continue within AOP. And I know that that's obviously in process, but I know that that's something that we're all waiting on the results.
I don't know a lot about it. Tavona knows a little bit about it. I haven't been privy to any of that information. I hope soon that we will have some information about it. I do hope that we will have a good presence at the OHALAH and that we'll again have, lots of RPs teaching and doing all kinds of stuff. So I just want to make a pitch for that. I know I'm planning on being there in person as of this moment. Not sure if that'll actually happen, but I think it will. We'll see how it goes at this conference and how safe everyone stays. I hope we don't hear of any COVID that happens, but we'll see what happens. Does anybody have anything to add about what's going on with the RP program? If you have any information, share it, because I don't have any. Have you heard anything? Shulamit, have you heard anything?
I have heard nothing.
Dee, have you heard anything? I mean, you probably are closer to
Well,
this.
You know, I'm a director of studies along with Tavona, and we're not being given clear information. It's
Why is the RP program in question right now? Is it because we don't have enough
It's because the director, who is now on leave, wanted to get rid of the rabbinic pastor program along with a bunch of other changes that he wanted. And he's now on leave, and that's about all that I know. So at the moment, nothing has changed.
so
If I could just say,
Tavona, yeah.
if I could just say, he did not want to get rid of the RP program. He wanted to elevate the RP program.
I guess
wanted-
depends on your perspective,
It
Tivona.
does indeed, and that's why nothing is known quite yet.
And by
So-
elevate, that means increasing the curriculum so that we would be on the same status, right?
Correct. That is correct.
Okay,
His vision was to have all renewal clergy be a healing core. That he wanted everyone renewed, everyone ordained through renewal to come into their ordination as a healing presence. Whether that healing presence was in congregations or in climate or in social justice or wherever it was, but that was the core. And he elevated and lifted up Reb Zalman's own history as a counselor and a pastor. So, Debarty.
okay, Shamati. There's no resolution on that, and I don't know when we are going to know that, but as soon as I have information, I'll send it out to everybody. I'm on staff, I'm with the staff but we're working on the OHALAH. We don't really talk about the behind the scenes stuff. I just don't have any other info about that. So, any other new business? Why don't we do just a good and welfare check-in and just everybody say where they're at, what they're hearing now is going on. Shulamit, you want to start? We have time, we can be together. No, you don't. Dee, do you want to say something?
Sure, I'll check in. I'm getting ready to turn 70 in a few weeks, and I'm planning a celebration weekend, the weekend of Tu B'Shvat. And I'm excited, and it's taking up a lot of my energy in a positive way, which I'm happy about. And I'm also a docent in training at the American Visionary Art Museum in Baltimore, which is a wonderful, joyful, happy place where I'm spending a fair amount of my time. Barty, should I call on the next person?
Please.
All right, I'll call on Rabbi Jay.
So what's new and great for me is all my children and grandchildren are finally over COVID. Every single one has had it except for one. My daughter Jen, her wife did not get it, believe it or not. Jen had it, and their child had it, and every other child and every other kid and their spouse had it, including me. And she didn't get it, but we're all over it. And so far we seem to be, other than tiredness, a few of us have, we think that we escaped the long COVID, God willing. My my son-in-law and my daughter and his family has opened a beautiful, big, gigantic restaurant, high-end, non-kosher American restaurant in Long Island, and they had a soft opening, and it's been like they're swamped. There's people waiting at the door to get in, and so that's really beautiful and really happy for them because they've been working on it for 3 years. My son-in-law has not worked for 3 years. Well, he's worked doing this for 3 years, but has had no
What's
salary.
the name of it?
It's called Hilltop Kitchen and Bar, and you can see their website. It's pretty cool, and so that's really, really beautiful. I celebrated a year working with Reb Razel in the Nechama Minyan, and I'm one of the gabbis, and that shows up 6 nights a week for a year since last, and we are desperately looking for rabbinic pastors to come and lead. We can't pay you anything; it's all volunteer based, but we would love to have more rabbinic pastors present. We have a few. Shandel comes every once in a while.
I'll do
It's
it.
beautiful.
Just get in
Yay.
touch with me.
Oh, that'd be great. So that takes up a lot of time. My congregation's really good. We're mostly digital or virtual. We meet only in person on the holidays and once a month on a Friday night, and doing mitzvahs, that's in person, but everything else is virtual on Facebook Live, and my counseling practice is great. So I have all, thank God, good things to report on this check-in, Baruch Hashem, when I'm feeling well too.
Can you call on someone?
Let's see, Reb Shandel.
Thank you, Ellen, for telling us what you're doing. Feeling very good about the work I'm doing with clients, and new teaching opportunity has just arisen. Life with Sonny is so sweet, and he's taking the house apart. Did have long COVID, finally seem over it, and going to Tampa last day. Oh, for Shabbos retreat, yay! No, great. And yeah, we keep being on the wrong side of the world for all these different things happening. We're here and we're going to be in the Tampa area, but not in time for the retreat. And then she's also doing an alumni retreat in New Mexico, and we'll be in Tampa, in Sarasota. So anyway, that's the biggest news is we're moving, getting ready. The end of March, things going across the country again. So, if that's not good for my brain and longevity health, I don't know what is in terms of, adapting to change. I'm teaching a class with a colleague of mine from Heart Math, and through the Unity Church in Minneapolis. We're doing a Zoom, kind of unfolding your next chapter, and we're hoping to do another class, and we're looking at doing some more Heart Math trainings for resilience building. And I love my job as a chaplain, and looking to create more of a spiritual counseling practice, coaching practice, and doing well. So and I look forward to being in Florida. We're getting there as summer approaches, so I'm not sure what we'll do for the summer, but we're very excited, and certainly be with Melissa Wenig, who is my dear, dear, dear soul sister. And it's a great place to be and be in community, and looking forward to opportunities for collaboration. And Stacy.
Hi. I'm doing okay. I just got back from an immersion weekend in the wilds of eastern North Carolina with the waterfowl that migrate down, and it's a wonderful reset for me, vibrational reset of the natural world. And I can tell I'm nourished and restored. I was invited to be on a panel discussion. You know that I've talked before about eco-chaplaincy. And there's been a lot more going on with eco-chaplaincy over the last few years, of course, because of a lot of the effects of climate change. And what I'm aware of is the energy is building around that. More and more people speaking about it. Chaplaincy Innovation is offering a lot of programming around climate change, ways in which chaplains can be supportive in those roles. And I'm glad to see that it's gaining some traction. And it's taking form in different ways. So everybody has a different focus in what resonates for them, and also what their work brings forth. And so BTS in Maine has done a lot of work around this in some form, and I think it's bts.org. If you're looking for some ideas, you could look that up. They also they're doing a lot right now, as are some other groups. Rabbi Katie Allen in Wayland, Massachusetts, has been doing a lot of work around this for quite a while. So that's invitational, as well as not from a rabbinic pastor perspective, but from Hashpa'as perspective. I've been involved in some work around eco-spiritual direction and immersion in that kind of work as well. So I'm glad to see that there's a spiritual component to what is happening in the therapy world, ecotherapy and eco-psychology, and that the spiritual components of our wholeness are being addressed and how we can support people in those ways. So my work continues at the UU community, and we're doing a spiritual practices program this weekend, and I'll be doing some sound healing for that. So I'm looking forward to bringing my bowls and other instruments out for that.
Love your sound healing. Bring them to the OHALAH. That'd be great.
It's a lot to bring.
I know.
I would be bringing it. I would have to bring it in. I'll see.
We'll
I'm not
talk.
there. We'll talk. Okay. All right. That Januarty. And
You
I'll call on Shandell.
I just shared.
Daniel just shared. Call on somebody else.
I'm sorry. Yes, of course you did. Simcha, Raphael.
So I'm very much in a period of Tzimtzum. As some of you know, I've been running around the country for years teaching on death and afterlife and variants on that theme. And I actually have the least amount of teachings lined up. The stuff keeps coming in. I'm grateful for that. I have a fairly decent client practice, but I have made the decision to not take any new clients beginning my 72nd birthday in July. So I'm really 45 years ago this month, I started my psychotherapy internship, and I'm kind of tired and wanting to really, I just want to write. I really just want to write. I feel like I have, other people can teach, other people can do client work, but Simcha has an ability to write, and I'm researching a book I'm tend to be calling it Noah Wept, Judaism's Wisdom on Climate Grief and Eco-Anxiety. What does Judaism have to say, not to the tribe, but to the world. And so my wife is insistent on being a snowbird. So we've been in Sarasota, Florida since the beginning of December. And I won't get to OHALAH if they, in the winter, unless they move it to a warmer climate, because she's going to insist on being in Florida. So it's a challenging time, because I'm weary on the work I've been doing, and really wanting to reinvent myself, and still needing to work for Parnassa so that can fully happen. But little by little, I am doing it. I just took 3 weeks off from clients and put in time every day writing and researching. And so I'm incubating the next chapters of my life. That's what Simsum does. So I'm grateful for that opportunity to do that. Januarty. So Naomi Sachs, I don't think I've met you. You're a new face in this on the screen here. Who are you? And where are you?
You met me a very long time ago. I'm a rabbinic pastor who know many of you, and so happy to be here. Just came back home on BART and got to the last part of this meeting. So sorry I'm late from work.
Well, if it was BART, then it's San Francisco.
Yeah, I work at UCSF, and of course we're having a lot of floods, so the trains are all not working very well. Lots of cars underwater and under the viaducts near my house. So good to see everybody, and just to hear glimpses of your life. My life has been filled with, I think Tivona shared about her mother. I have a 93-year-old mother, and been caring for her in Chicago, and really loving her up. She's a big spirit, and also just noticing her spirit getting softer and starting to transition into the next part of her journey. But also just I organize all the caregiving, and I organize all the doctor's appointments virtually from California. So that's one of my jobs. So I've been doing that. I am associate director of our palliative care team at UCSF, and I am just in the midst of applying for a faculty position. I'll be the first chaplain that has ever received a faculty appointment at UCSF. So I'm very excited about that. I hope it. So send me lots of good wishes for that. Just finishing the first textbook on interprofessional palliative care. I'm the co-editor and co-author. All the chapters are written by interprofessional teams, chaplains, nurses, doctors, and so it's very exciting, just paving the way for a transdisciplinary world where all of us can work at the height of our practice. That's really sort of my purpose in life. So that's become my purpose somehow. I think I'm still rehydrating from the worst of being in the hospital at the worst of COVID. Still been, I think healing, and all of us are still reviving ourselves and remembering what it's like to connect and to be social and to have joy. And I think that's been a big part of what the work I'm doing. And then I'm also been co-directing an interprofessional program, year-long program for providers, all different professions all over the Bay Area, a year-long certificate program in specialty palliative care, which is really fun to do. Yeah, I think that's been me. My partner John and I are healthy and live a simple, quiet life, and I think that's been really good. I'm going to be welcoming my third niece at the end of this month. I get to go into the labor room, and I've never been in a labor room before, so I'm very excited. My friend told me grab a leg, so I don't know if everyone else has advice, but I think I'll grab a leg if my sister-in-law lets me. My sister is married to a woman who's 20 years younger than her, so we're so excited. We're all in our late 50s and 60s, but we're getting a new baby, so we're very excited. So that's me. Thanks, everyone. Great to see you.
Beautiful. Katya, I don't think you've checked in. And then I'll do a brief check-in and then we can maybe have a moment of healing. And Shulamit, you don't want to say anything? Okay. Why don't Katya
I'm willing
and
to say something. I just didn't want to be first.
Okay, great. Katya and then Shulamit.
So things are as they are at the hospital. We had a schedule change a couple months ago where we're now doing 12-hour shifts, which, yeah, it has, as long as things are fairly calm, it's not too bad. But being level 1 trauma with 900 beds and the new emergency room, that's I think we've got 105 beds in our emergency room. And so it's its own hospital, but I'm still loving it. I work with some really, really wonderful colleagues. I actually have 2 imams on staff with me, which it's so nice not to be the only Christian. Sorry, but there's a whole different lens that you look at stuff. And so it's totally awesome. And we're doing this arduous task of updating policy, which hasn't been done in several years. And as you know, things change. And so our roles change. Some things we increased and some things we're letting go of. So we're kind of working on that. I finally got COVID first week of December. I was down for a couple weeks with it. I was lucky. My symptoms could have been a lot worse. I tested, I had a sore throat, so I tested, but I was just tired. I'm still a little worried, but COVID's still all over the place in the hospital. And it's like Naomi was saying, we're still rehydrating, we're still recovering. It was a major blow for the staff, and there's still all the residual trauma that's going on. So yeah, it's a lot, but it's what you're called to do, and so yeah, I'm still loving it. I still have my little congregation in Flemington, New Jersey, that I serve as their music person. So and that's it's a nice balance. I face the world in the hospital, and then I grab my guitar, jump in the car, drive to Flemington, and jump up and down in front of a bunch of kids. And so yeah, it's good. I'm not getting any younger, but I can still do what I'm doing. And self-care has become a priority. So I go to bed on time, I get my sleep, I say no to a lot of things. So yeah, but life is good. So Shulamit, are you ready?
Thank you, Katja. Sure. And by the way, when you figure out how to get younger, please let me know.
Actually, I've discovered that getting old is actually a privilege, because there are so many people who don't have that opportunity.
That is true.
So I guess if that works.
So I'm doing fairly well. I did get COVID. It was a 6-week slog. I got rebound, but I didn't have to go to the hospital, and I was so it wasn't as bad as it might have been, and I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful that it does appear to be over. The big thing that's left is exhaustion, but I had some of that before I got COVID, so there's that. Some of you know that we started long before the pandemic. Mark Novak and Renee Brockfeld and I started this storytelling institute, the interfaith. I can't even talk now. It is after 8 o'clock, Dee, so my brain has.
The Multi-Faith Storytelling Institute.
Thank you so much. It's so lovely to have good friends who help out. And I've become a moshnik, and that means that every Saturday or Shabbos morning, I attend services that Mark leads, and I have a small part in, and that I truly love, and it's become a lifeline for me, a real joy to be at. And I'm getting ready to schedule some new storytelling classes, which I've been doing online since the pandemic started. And now that I'm feeling better, I need to go ahead and schedule some new ones. And other than that, I'm not sure what to tell you. I'm very good friends with the wonderful Reb J, and we talk a lot. And I see many of you or some of you at Mosh and other places, and I'm happy to see your face. It would be nice to be more social. I am not. It's hard for me to be out. Something has shifted, but I'm working on it and hoping to be more present now that I'm living in Philadelphia. There's lots of chevra here that I don't get to see very often, and I'm hoping to change that. Januarty.
How have you found being in Philadelphia? Everybody is moving, trying to get to Florida, and you came up from Florida to Philadelphia, and it's your first winter there, or maybe it's two already. I have no sense of time. So how are you managing? How you feel about having made the move to Philadelphia?
I think that I sold my house at exactly the right moment to get the most out of it that I possibly could. I don't like winter. It's part of the reason why I don't go out very much, because it's very cold. And you might notice I have on multiple layers. But it was the right thing to do. And I have one son living here. I have a grandchild in New York who comes to see me fairly regularly. And it's okay. It's not glorious and it's not terrible. It's okay. I'm here and I'm semi-healthy. So life is good.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Ivona also checked in the chat. She said it was a stressful year health-wise. My husband was diagnosed with myasthenia gravis, if I pronounce that, I don't know, last winter, being treated now monthly IVIG infusions. My sister was in a neuro ICU in the spring, having emergency face reconstruction surgery, and I was hospitalized after Rosh Hashanah with abnormal infection and perforated bowel. All the road to healing now. We wish you a good refuah shlema, and may it continue for all. Amen. From Tivona.
Okay, thank you everyone for sharing so much. Yes, let us all breathe together. My here and now is that I have a great job in York, Pennsylvania that I love. And I have a wonderful time at Riderwood Jewish community. Every week I have a number there, then I have a little congregation, and I'm writing a lot of music. I'm doing a lot of yoga, still studying a lot of yoga. I also zoom down to South America a lot on Saturday mornings, which is why I don't come to Mosh. When I'm not up there, I'm zooming down to South America with a consortium called Kibbutz Galuyot, which is in Espanol, but I do the Hebrew part. But what happened to me this fall was pretty tough. Right before Slichot, my daughter became suicidal, my beautiful shining light of my life. And we had to put her in a hospital. Thank God she was in Boston, so she went to McLean's, and she was there for a couple of weeks, and she did well. And then she was an outpatient. She had to leave her job, and we went through a lot of stuff with her. You go up and then you come down, and you go up and you come down. So it's always that balance. I feel like the better things are in my own life, then I have to just come down and deal with the real life, which is the love of my life, my children. So that happened, and now she's moved to Baltimore and just started a new job today at the Enoch Pratt Library System, where she's in charge of adult programming, and she's thriving and doing much better. Of course, I always worry about her every minute, and my son is doing great. So what it's done is it's changed my life because she's close to me, and I tend to be a little isolated because we live in the country. You know, far from my community. So her being here has really meant so much to me. It's changed my entire life. And I told her that. I mean, we have lunch together. I can go to Baltimore, which is 30 minutes away. She can come here and do her laundry. We can have Shabbos together. It's been a life changing for our family. So I'm so grateful for that. I don't take it for granted, you know, my health. I got sick in Israel with COVID and I was down for a month. It was horrendous. It's just been a rough fall. But I feel like I'm slogged through and I'm coming out on the other side and things are looking up. So I'm just grateful for all that. And today's Debbie Friedman's yahrzeit. So I really want to end our meeting with doing the Misha Bera. So if we can, you can unmute if you want to, we can be cacophonous, it doesn't matter to me, but I just want to send out lots of healing to everyone here, especially to Tavona with dealing with what she's dealing with, and everybody on this space has our own devastations that, you know, it's the privilege of age. So I feel like it's a blessing. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Be'ira Chivotenu L'kol habracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Love you all very much. Hope we can be together soon.
Thank you.
Lisa, I just want to thank you for really being the torch bearer here. You have done that for a couple of years now, and you sort of slept these wild cats in for a meeting, and keep this organization functioning as well as you're able to. So thank you. I appreciate it.
You know, Dee and Sandra did that for many years, and after us, there will be other people too. Eventually, people will step up, right, Dee? It will happen. You know, that's what I pray for our organization. And if sometime we are subsumed by OHALAH, then or whatever we're subsumed by will be subsumed. But I hope that the RPA will continue to be strong, and I pray for our health, and Shulamit especially, who led the RP program for so many years and really is the reason why we're all here. I want to give kavod to her, because without her, I wouldn't be here, that's for sure. I just want to thank all of you, because you're all my teachers, really. And I want to hug everybody real hard. That's what I want to do. So I'll wish everyone Laila Tov.
So
And
Lutov.
may we
Take care of
Well.
yourselves.
Bye to everyone.
Right.
Be well.
Thanks.
Lots of
Well.
love.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.